important for every organization. Okay. So we have discussed case study last time to understand the importance of MIS. I hope you remember that. So with this case study and with this basic understanding, we are moving towards a next session on MIS. Okay. So a basic case study we have discussed about the GSK, how MIS was implemented and what was its utility, SAP software we have discussed about it. So how things have changed into a more logical way, how different departments were getting a benefit from a data which is collected from internal sources or external sources. Today we'll look at some diagrams to get a more understanding about what is MIS, how it is used in different departments like financial departments, marketing department, logistics department, manufacturing department. So we'll see some of the examples how it is used in different departments. So what is MIS? MIS or Management Information System would be defined as a computer-based system. See, if you look at our notes, you will get a lot of information about the computer. Okay, so this is something which is factual and this is self-explanatory. So we are not going into those definitions, or we are not going into those part of your syllabus where you can understand by reading yourself. Okay. So since we have a time constraint, I'm going to more of a conceptual part. I'm entering into more of the example parts where you get a better understanding of that. Whatever facts or objective facts you read into notes, that will make you more sense. And in fact, you don't have to remember it. That will naturally, okay, you will understand it. So once you understand it, you don't have to mug it up. Okay. So let's discuss what is MIS. MIS or Management Information System would be defined as a computer-based system. We have discussed it in the system. There is something called input will be there. There will be some processing and there will be some output. And you are doing this system with the help of computers. Okay. Flexible and speedy access to accurate data. So ultimately, you have huge data from different sources, and ultimately you convert that data into information. And obviously, you communicate that data, that information, and ultimately you take a decision based on the information. So data will get converted into information, and information will get converted into knowledge. Okay, and that knowledge will help you to make different decisions. Okay, and it is suited for personal, professional, organization, national, and global level. Okay, right from individual to global level, MIS has a utility. Okay, in our day-to-day life, we cannot imagine our life without data, without information. Okay, so it is not only important from individual perspective, but it is important from organization, and it is important from national and international perspective too. Okay, in MIS there are three names: Management, Information, and System. We have to look at definition of each to understand the complete MIS. Management emphasizing the ultimate use of such information systems for managerial decision making rather than merely stressing on technology. So here we are not interested, like as I said, we are not interested in the core part of technology. Okay, we are not interested in core part of IT. Where we are interested in how can we use IT or information technology to convert data into information and using that information for decision making. So maybe some of you are not very good with IT, or they are maybe afraid that we don't have much knowledge about IT. But you don't supposed to have much information about IT. If you have, that is added advantage, no doubt about it. But even if you don't have, you don't have to worry. Okay, like there were many people who were not from finance background, but still they understood accounting, accountancy, accounts management, and financial management. Similarly, even if you are not from IT background, don't worry, you will understand this. Okay, just try to imagine, whichever case study we are discussing, or whatever examples we are using. Just try to imagine be attentive. I'm sure you will understand this subject very well. Okay, like you have understood other subjects. Information. Highlighting on processed data rather than raw data, and in the context in which it is used by managers and other entities. See, in data we know it's raw data, it's a huge information, huge data, which may or may not be useful for you, or complete information data is not useful. So what do? You apply a filter to it and you just collect whatever is the information, whatever data you need for your purpose, for your decision, or what has utility for you. Okay. Like there is a data about, say, complete village, and then you find you want to start some school there, okay, or you want to start some period school in the village. Okay, and you want to understand how many people are there who can afford your fees, or based on that you are going to decide what kind of facilities you can provide based on the paying capacity of the villages. So obviously you won't require a data about a complete village. So maybe you get a complete village data, then you apply some filter about their income level, about their interest level, about their education level in family, how important the education for them, and like some of the filters you apply, and ultimately what you get is information. And based on that information, you make certain statements, okay, or you analyze the data, you present them into tabular form, or some kind of data which can be used easily by managers for making a decision. That ultimately becomes a knowledge. A system emphasizing a fair degree of integration and holistic. Okay. So system is it is integration of whatever activity you do. And there is complete holistic view. You start from end to end. Okay. From input to output, you have everything into it, and ultimately you try to understand, or you try to improve your system continuously, so that MIS will be more productive or more efficient, more yielding for your entire organization or for your personal decision making process. So this is what we call a system. And when we include all these things, when management use information and there is a system for using information, this complete system is called MIS, Management Information System. How it works? Process data into information that we know. First, we collect data. Data is available in market. Once you have data available in market, you convert that data into information. Okay, you convert it in the system itself help you convert that data into information. And once you have information, you communicate that information with different departments as per their requirement or whatever they have asked for. And ultimately, based on that communication, you take a decision. That is a process of MIS. Okay, imagine in an office. Suppose there is an office of say 50 by 50 feet size of office, and there is one cabin which is written as a MIS. So in a MIS, what is happening there? They are getting data from different sources, from internal sources, from external sources. Maybe they are customer, or they are vendor from, they are providing you raw material. Maybe they are customer, they are buying product from you. Or maybe there is a consumer who are ultimately consuming your product. Okay, or there are some government rules. There, so from different segments, they are collecting data and they are storing into one database. Okay, and providing providing a customized information to each department or for each kind of decision when they want to make it in a particular way. So you ask for a customized data, and that database will give that information. Okay, so what is the job of that particular room or the people who are sitting in that room is to give a supporting documents or supporting information whenever you want to take a decision about something. Suppose tomorrow you want to run some scheme, like you have a limited fund and you want to run a scheme, so that your business will increase in next month. So what you will do, you will try to see that suppose it's July month, you will see last year what was a sell of particular product in last July. Okay, based on that you will understand the season of the product. Second thing, you will get to know the sell of each product. Okay, so you will target particular product where we have a lot of opportunity. Maybe the sell is comparatively low, but potential is very high. Or you have a computer information. That computer is like energy bar, particular energy bar. Okay, so competitors are selling this energy bar particularly in July month at a very high quantity, but we are not able. So that means there is enough gap, or there is a green field. So obviously we choose that gap. We will try to see what competitors are doing, which product we can focus on, or what kind of schemes others are running, what kind of scheme we can run. So based on like something around this, we take a decision and ultimately we use it. So this is data collection involves the use of information technology. So how you are collecting data? You are collecting data from different IT information, like somebody vendor is giving a feedback, when vendor is giving the order through online, or whatever way they are interacting with you. You try to either they are using IT directly and that is getting into database, or you are collecting manually and then you are entering into database. So there can be various ways to store your data into your database. Okay, so this is a particular diagram, source of management information. How management information works. So don't look at this diagram. This is a very easy diagram, and we are going to discuss this diagram to understand how this MIS works. Okay, and going ahead, we also have a similar diagram for each department. Okay, so here we go. business transactions. So whatever transaction you are having with your vendor, your customer, your consumer, okay, a website visitor, okay, a government, whichever transaction, whichever entity has impact on your organization, you collect data from them. Okay, transaction processing system. So whatever transactions you had with these people, you process this and you operational database. So you store in operational database whatever transaction you have done. It is like a journal, okay, where you have all the entries, whatever activity you did. This is explained in a comparatively bigger way, or you have a complete explanation of particular transaction. So that initial information you store it operational database. Maybe in financial world we have on the record on a books, but here in MIS we are doing everything into IT, use of computer, database of valid transactions. So what we do after we record transaction into journal, what we try to do, we shift into a ledger in a more productive way, or in a more interactive or more summarized way. Okay. So database of valid transaction now stored into another way. So input and error lists are there. Okay. You reduce errors, and obviously you reduce the inputs which you have explanation. So ultimately summarized data you input into next folder, that is your ledger. Okay. Now this ledger ultimately goes into a management information system or the core database. Okay, this is management information system, and you get management information corporate database of internal source as well as external data. Okay, so whatever sources from when you have this data, external and internal sources, that all get stored into MIS. Okay, then from MIS you have different reports. You can have a drill down reports, Excel, exception reports, demand reports, key indicator reports, schedule reports, sales report, okay, brand report, whatever tax report, whatever report you want, you can ask from management system. Okay, application database, based on different application it is get divided. Okay, so maybe financial department data will go into a different folder, logistic department data will get into a different folder, another department will get a separate folder. So application oriented database will be divided into different folders. Okay, so again here you have a certain system which is used to use this data, like decision support system. This is a separate topic which we are going to discuss next or short session. Decision support system. Then you have an executive support system. This is also another method to use this available database. Expert system. This is also like it is about evolving stage, like DSS, executive support system, expert system. Okay, it is continuously evolving. Okay, right from 1960s, 1780s, 90s. So we have a different support system which utilize this available data. So we are going to see this expert system, executive control support system, and decision support system in detail in next lectures. Okay, so this is a basic procedure through which data comes to organization. Data goes to different phases, and ultimately it gets stored in some database. And from that database, you generate different reports as and when you require a particular department reports. Okay, output of management information system. So what we get from management information system. So okay, there are some of the reports, or there are some of the indicators. So these are just for the sake of your understanding. These are not the only reports which you get from management. You can get any customized any customized. Suppose tomorrow you want from particular village you want a report where you want people who are having earning 10 more than 10 lakh rupees, and there are these families are having children between say 8 to 15 years of age, and maybe you can apply some other filter too. So it is completely customer report, like whatever report you want you will get from that data, because you have a complete data. You just have to apply filters. Okay, you just have to apply filters there. Okay, so let's see some of the reports. We'll understand how we get that report and what we mean by this report. Scheduled report. Okay, it's like there is somebody, a branch manager, and we want to see what kind of sell I'm getting from every area on a daily basis, weekly basis, and monthly basis. Why people look for this data? Like another clarity or another case study kind of thing. Suppose you are a branch manager and you want to understand, or you want to try that your branch will achieve a 10 crore target within this month. Okay, so it is not something which you will directly open your file on the last day of month and you will try to see how much you have achieved. achieve 10 lakh rupees, 10 crore sales, there will be nothing in your hand on that last day. So what you do, you continuously periodically generate reports. Suppose there are 4 weeks, and you have equal business from each week. So what you will do, you will try to achieve 2.5 crore of the sale on every week. Okay. So a manager, rather than going for everyday business, or rather than calling every manager to ask their business or their team business, what they do, they sit on a system. They data mining. They just mine from a database. That is what is a weekly sale. What is a weekly sale of each territory? Okay. This is from branch manager. Like they will have a weekly sales from each territory, and they will see which is the territory which have achieved less than 25%, and which are the territories which are on 25% or more of it. So obviously they will get a feedback, or they will now communicate. They will use their resources for those areas where they are achieving less than 25% sales. Okay. Suppose it's area sales manager. Maybe area sales manager will not be interested in monthly or weekly sales, but he will go into a daily sales. Okay. Which are the sales executive, okay, or their subordinates are achieving their daily targets, or which are the sales executives which are not achieving their daily sales target. So this is how you analyze the daily report, and finally you will find some of the laggards or some of the people who are not achieving their daily targets. So obviously you will coordinate with them, you will understand their problem, or you will try to solve those problems so that they will also achieve their daily. So if everyone achieves, every sales executive achieves their target, obviously ASM will get a daily reports which will be completely on their target. If he is on target, obviously the regional sales manager who is looking for a weekly report, he will also get to know that our team is on track. We are going to achieve our number. Similarly, batch manager will also get a monthly number. And maybe as you go higher, people will prepare different scheduled reports to understand what is their sales report or what is their output report. Okay, key indicator report. Summarize the previous day's critical activities. See, key indicator reports. Suppose we have decided this month. It's not only about the business, but you want to also look for, say, visibility. Okay, visibility in the sense whenever you enter into any store, or whenever you enter into any business activity or POS, you ultimately want to promote your product there. Suppose you are into car business. Okay, so you enter into a particular showroom car, and ultimately when you enter into that car showroom, you want to promote a particular car. So obviously, what you will do, you will promote that car in front of at entry gate, or maybe you apply some decorative ornaments around that car, or maybe your sales team will give a different sales speech, or they will focus more on this particular product. So these are the key activities. Okay, they are the key activities, and you want to keep a record of these key indicators. So what you will do, you will try to see how many visibilities are there, how many outlets got a visibility, how much money we are spending on each visibility. Okay, how much of material is already used, how many outlets are already into a contract to promote their product. So there can be n number of indicators, like you want to increase the distribution of particular product. So obviously what you will do, you will give a target to each sales executive that you have to achieve, or you have to put a particular product in 100 outlets. Okay, so obviously what you will do, you will try to summarize, or you try to see whether people are achieving those key indicators or not. Okay, because ultimately if people achieve the key indicators, they will have a holistic growth or inclusive growth. It is not a growth coming from only one product, but they are trying. Why they will go give a social indicators, or sorry, why they will give key indicators? Because they want to achieve growth, or they want to achieve a growth on different products too. They don't want to focus on one product, but they want to have growth from different categories, diversification. So that's why people apply a key indicator. So typically what you do, you go for each day, or you go for each week, each month, to see what is achievement of particular indicator. Okay. How many of this particular car have been promoted? How many of this particular car have been sold? So your promotion, your achievements are based on those key indicators. So obviously you will come to know key indicator report. Demand report. Okay, like whatever demand a manager puts, that I want a report which has, like we have discussed, more than 10 lakh rupees. Okay, a student, or the kids who are between 5 to 15 years of age, or maybe some other category you will apply. Okay, so based on whatever demand you put to MIS department, they will give you information with those filters. Okay, Exception report automatically produced when situation is unusual or requires management. So whenever they see that something is planned and things are not moving as per plan, so obviously you get some exception reports and you can take action based on that exception reports. Okay. Like exception report like when we are launching a Prosin tablet, I remember when we are launching a new variant of Prosin tablet. So we have observed that there are many pharmaceutical distributors who banned GSK for that particular reason, okay, for some part time. So that was a something exceptional situation which we never have seen. So what happened? We have asked for a report where certain companies who got banned from distributors and what was action they took, what action they took to overcome this barrier. So obviously we have realized this is a regular task for most of the time. Pharmaceutical companies need some kind of contribution towards their distributor scheme to ensure some kind of funding. So whenever you launch any new product, obviously you need to provide some funding to distribute it. So obviously that we came to know, we had a meeting with you know every area's chairperson, and ultimately we solved that. Why? Because we had a case study or we have reports from different departments from different companies what they use to solve a problem of bad. Okay, so this is something exceptional situation, and you need reports for those situations. Okay, characteristics of management information system. What is the characteristics? How will understand what is MI? It is a system approach. So what system approach says? That means whatever MIS or whatever information you are getting output, that is depend on it. That means output is not independent of input. So what input you will go give automatically on same line you will get out. So जो आपने बोया है वही आप पाओगे. That means whatever you sow you will reap that. Okay. That means whatever input or what quality of input you have, that will decide what quality of output you have. If your input is perfect, you have collected data from all the relevant sources on your data lake, and it's authenticated information, authentic data, then obviously your output will also be authentic. But if you are making like suppose there is census information, if the officers who are collecting census information, they are not basically to maximum households, okay, or they are collecting data from only few outlets, and now they are replicating that same data to multiple households. Okay, they have also given the same response. If you are doing that, then obviously this is your input, and this input you will place into the system. Obviously, machine or the computer will process the same input which you have given, and ultimately what information or output you will have, that is based on those few houses or those few customers from where you have collected data. So this will ensure you have data, but that data is not holistic or comprehensive data. So your output will also show results based on those few outlets or those few customers whom you met. So it is MIS is not a magic. MIS is not something which has some kind of magic like where you get the best of the best information. No, it is system approach. Whatever you put as the input, you will get as output. So that depends. Like more information leads to more false information. So what you have to do, you have to collect systematically data and you have to put into a system with all you give. Then and then only you will get a best output. Okay, so MIS is having huge utility, but again, to use MIS, what you require is a people. You cannot 100% believe on MIS. You also have to apply your own brain. That's why it is called a system approach, where you cannot depend on the system, but you have to create an efficient system. The more efficient system will be, there will be lesser involvement from the management. Okay, so if your system is not on that level, or where you can make a decision, obviously what you have to do, we have to have a more productive human being or a better brain which can interpret information and which can make a better decision. So system approach again shows your output is dependent on input. Management oriented, obviously whatever information you have, whatever data you have, it is all oriented towards management. What kind of data management required? What kind of questions we need to ask, or what kind of data we need to store, so that management will get information particular thing, like whether they are interested only sales, they are interested into other parameters, whatever parameters they are interested, or what kind of business you are into. You create questionnaire around that and you store data based on that questionnaire, because this is required by management. Okay, somebody who is in logistic team, maybe they don't require what is happening with finance team. But as a system, maybe you're like financial company. So obviously, what you are interested in different statements. Okay, if you are interested in trial balance, ledgers. Okay, ability of funds, fund flow. So you have a different requirement altogether when you are into a particular industry. So MIS is not a general information. It is not general or common principles. It is based on management requirement. So what kind of management, what kind of business you are into, that decides what kind of information you need or what kind of data you need. Okay, need based, obviously, as we have discussed in management oriented, it's something similar. Whatever need you have, you change your data in that particular format. So whatever need you have, you change your MIS system into that process. Suppose you need a weekly information, daily information, like nowadays if you go to telecom industry, they are not getting a daily report, but they are getting hourly report. Okay, they are getting hourly report in the sense ASM will get every hour how many new subscriptions are there, how many new active SIMs are activated, how many recharges have happened, how many outlets, what new SIMs or new recharges, whatever handsets. So whatever data you have, they are getting now hourly basis. So every year manager gets a report and manager calls to every sales officer saying that this is where you are lacking or this is where you have good achievement. Okay, and focus on these outlets where we don't have recharge or these are the SIM cards which are activated but they have not completed their basic recharge policy or whatever data you require. So that is based on need. Now telecom industry is entering into more competitive world. They have completely different requirements now. What they had a 10-year back or 5-year back. Okay. Even in our FMCG industry, there are so many kinds of new data or new needs have generated, which help you to focus towards a better output. Okay, so there are need based things which you continuously change into your email system. So become a competitive. Okay, exceptional risk as we have discussed, there are some kind of exceptions situation where you require a different kind of MS. Okay, so that is again based on your requirement or some of the characteristics of MS. Okay. Future oriented, obviously MIS is always future oriented. That means whatever data you collect from past, but we are not interested in postmortem, but we are interested in that data to be used for a future decision making. Okay. Subsystem concept in the sense we have discussed. That system is about input, process, and output. Okay. So subsystem in the sense maybe organization level you are having a system, but at a sub-organization level, like something in a logistic, something into regional division. So based on different things, we have a different data, and you use that data to make a decision for that particular product or particular region or that particular department. Okay. So there is a subsystems to exist in a department or an organization at the same time. A system at a centralized subsystem is maybe you can say decentralized system. Okay, like in Panchayati Raj, you have a system based on central government, state government, and third tier, that is Panchayati Raj. So there are different systems, they have a different input, they have a different way of processing the data, and ultimately they have a different outputs. Okay, and that output is more crucial, more important for that particular subsystem. They don't want to use a common system. They want to use a different system for their own reason. Why? Because there must be some uniqueness. Central database, obviously central database is common database where complete information. These subsystems come together and ultimately they make a central database. Okay, here you get a much diversified, much different data than what you have in a subsystem. Long-term planning, management information system is always targeted towards long-term planning. Okay, based on that data, you always take a decision which is more fruitful and for a management benefit in the long term. So this is some of the characteristics of MIS. Okay, so let's see this diagram to understand a functional aspect of MIS. Okay, sources. First, you capture data from different sources like data. Big data is a concept which is recently in the market. Okay, so this big data or whatever data we are collecting, we are using every day. We use different apps. We download different apps. Okay, we go for Google search. So through different way, we are giving huge data. We are giving huge data to these companies or these apps. So what they do, they collect data from different process, whatever process they process it. First, it goes to storage of data. Okay, from that storage of data, whatever data they need, they slowly retrieve it. Okay, once they retrieve it, it again undergo to dissemination, like based on a user, for logistics department, for marketing department, for marketing department, whichever department you are using it, or for maybe RTI, or for RTI purpose, you need a different data. Maybe you don't need the entire project data. What you require, you just require a data for say your procurement of raw material. Okay, so that is again a user-based data. So you can retrieve from the storage where you have stored complete data, and you can give it to that person who is asked for RTI. Okay. Now going ahead. Now RTI which is asking for historical data, or which is something user-based data. Now companies or now organizations, even public sector companies are thinking about providing a data based on proactive basis. So proactive basis in the sense, a complete data about a particular department will be available on internet. Okay, in this way you have to go for a dissemination, like you have to go for a particular data. You have to type that what kind of filters you want to apply, what kind of data it is, and automatically that data will come. Okay, so based on this procedure, now things are changing. Now it is not only about a management which had access to this data. Now everyone will have access to this data based on their utility. Based on their utility, they can target, or they can suppose tomorrow you are working as a area sales manager in one of the FMCG companies. Okay, and suppose you are handling the entire Maharashtra, and you have seen that somehow south or east is doing very good in particular product. Maybe they are doing something into wellness industry. So you want to try, or you want to see what best things they are doing, what best things they are doing to achieve this achievement. So you have a central data. You can go to central data, or there is a employee login ID and password. You can enter that, and based on that information portal, you can try to see what different things that south and east is doing, so that they are at a better stage in particular project. Okay, similarly, south and east can go to see something like for OTC product, West is always considered as a best source. So you see what West is doing different to emerge into OTC segment, whereas what different things South and East doing to overcome a wellness industry. So obviously this is a centralized information, and user-based information can be availed from those platforms. Okay, there is central database. You have to enter there. You have to type a particular data which you want, wherever you want to apply a filter, what area you want to apply, what time period you want to apply, and ultimately you get the data. Okay, similarly, even in your bank statements, okay, whenever you log into bank, you have a certain centralized data, and you can enter there whatever requirement is, whether you want a monthly data, okay, you only want a credit data, you only want a debit data, or you want, okay, your salary, whenever you want your salary. So whatever kind of expenses, whatever kind of data you want from that system, you can manually enter about your filters, and ultimately you will get user-centric data. Okay, and that is information. This is functional aspect of how MIS functions. Okay, what is the utility of MIS? Okay. Some of the advantages of MIS: effective and efficient coordination between departments. Obviously, since every department is aware about their role, or every department is aware about data, that gives a better coordination. Like logistics department, they came to know from portal, from MIS, that particular product is selling very well. Okay, suppose there is a suddenly corona, and they have realized we have a many products, but there was one product that is sanitizer, but we were not able to sell sanitizer because of comparatively lesser demand. Okay, before corona, but suddenly you have realized that one day you have sold 10,000 bottles. Okay, which earlier you used to sell 6 months to sell that same stock, but within a one day you have sold that. So obviously, what you come to know, you will come to know that there is going to be huge requirement for sanitizer. So obviously, what you start, like manufacturing department will come to know this. Same time, logistic team will come to know that they will start procuring the raw material which is required to make sanitizer. Okay. Similarly, here legal team will come to know about sanitizer. They will also make their structure, or make their supporting documents ready for their sanitizer. What is our sanitizer? What kind of alcohol we are using? What quantity alcohol we are using? something like every department is, get awareness about some sudden situation or some changes in a department. And obviously, they don't need to communicate with each other. They are already aware because of their common portal. And ultimately, everyone's action will lead to synergetic action. Synergetic action in the sense 1 plus 1 will not be 2, but maybe 1 plus 1 to have more than 2. So their total will be more than their individual sum. Their total will be more than their individual sum because everyone is adding value to it, or they are acting on a proactive basis. There is no need to communicate with each other. Okay. There is already a communication, there is a common message gone to every department. So this is what we call effective and efficient coordination between different departments. Quick and reliable referencing whenever you are making a decision. If somebody asks you logic behind this decision or reasoning behind this decision, obviously what you can promote, you can provide a reference from your MIS. Okay. So like just to present one example of this quick and reliable referencing. So we used to get something called SI34. No, that is area based rated outlet. Okay, that report used to get area based cells. Okay, suppose I have a 10 bits, so each bit is giving this much of cells. So what we used to do periodically, we used to change areas, yeah, because there is increase in demand or there is increase in outlets, or maybe one person is not able to cater all the outlets in one day. So we used to divide that outlets or the area based on our own feasibility. So always we have to provide some kind of some supporting document why we are not getting X cell from this department or from this area. Whereas in future, in past we used to get this cells. So by providing some kind of a reference from MIS itself, you can prove that why we have making certain changes. And these changes are necessary and these changes are made based on the data which we receive from system, or it is, you can say, it is supporting document. Okay, you can support your claim based on the data which you get from MIS. And MIS is obviously considered as authentic data because everyone has access to it. Okay, access to relevant data and documents. Obviously, whenever you want any data, whenever you want any document, you can go back. MIS, use of less labor. See, it is not about a manual activity, but it is a system oriented activity. So previously you used to maintain data, but that data was all written data, and here you required a lot of labor who continuously busy in writing some other document. There was a scope for a mistake. Obviously, there were very few steps, or there were a fewer ways to find a mistake. But in a system, automatically system will takes a corrective action and they will highlight you. The system will highlight you where you are making a mistake. Because everything is interconnected. Improvement in organizational and departmental techniques. Obviously, since they are getting periodic data, weekly data, what they will do, they will improve their organization and department techniques to have a better result. Okay, because getting a real-time data and applying different trial and error methods. Every time you are trying some new method and you are getting a better result. So ultimately, you can compare which method has yielded a best result. Okay, for maximum benefit. So obviously, you will continue with that department or that technique. So continuously you improve your techniques to get a better management of day-to-day activities. Okay, based on like every day morning, ASM and sales officers in our company used to get one report, and that report was stock report. Okay, stock report, like at different levels there was a different stock report. For ASM level, you used to get a stock report at depot level. Okay, so whatever their stock that depot is having, you have to push those products on. Suppose particular 200-gram bottle is available in huge quantity. So obviously what your salesman is supposed to do, or what your distributor is supposed to do, promote 200-gram bottle. Whereas a sales officer or the salesman, they used to get a report about a distributor level stock. So whatever stock that there is a huge quantity available, you have to promote that stock. You have to start your sales pitch based on those products which you need to liquidate. Okay, whereas something which is in a short, obviously you have to use it very cautiously. Okay, so whichever product there is in a shorter quantity, you will not promote that product. And whichever product there is available in high quantity, you will promote it. So this is how you manage your day-to-day activity. How you generate this stock report based on MIS, like whatever product was there and whatever whatever the sales you have completed yesterday minus growth, what you get is a closing stock. Opening stock plus purchase minus the sales will give you a statement about what is your closing stock. So based on closing stock, you decide your priorities, you decide which area you want to cater, which customer you want to meet, or what kind of promotional activities you want to run to promote particular product. Most of the time, what we used to when we launched Horlicks Poodles. Okay, when we launched Horlicks Poodles, what we used to do. Suppose there is a near expiry stock. There is a near expiry. Shelf life was comparatively less. It was 6 months or 9 months. So whenever we see it's only 1 month left for this product to expire, and now like, if this product expires, it's completely 100% loss, maybe more than 100% loss because obviously we have to take it back from my market or take it back from a distributor. So what we used to do ultimately we used to get some approval from company or organization where we can run some activity, like 1 plus 1 activity, or selling this product to hotels because hotels will use this product in a comparatively in a shorter period because they are continuously selling Maggi. So we used to promote that products to hotels, okay, some kind of outlets which are very good at selling unusual category like Maggi or some other category. So this is something you will get from your MIS software. What is the expiry date, what kind of data you have, and based on that you can decide your priority for that particular day. Okay, closer contact with the rest of the world. Obviously, you will get a computer information. You will come to know what's happening around you. Okay, and different statement of different competitors, different activities by different customers. Like when you go to market, you are not only going to promote your product, but you also look at what competitors are doing. Okay. So what promotional activities are they? Are they changing their package? Have they changed any kind of promotional activity? Have they made any change in their composition of their product? So whatever change or whatever new product has been launched in market, you will get you will get complete information about those products. So with this, you will not only aware about your product, but you will also be get information about what is happening with the rest of the world or your competitors. What kind of new categories coming into market? What kind of new activities that is happening in the market? What is the difference between going for traditional marketing or advertisement tool and the digital marketing? So this is something which you will come to know from market itself or MIS because market is giving information or data to MIS and ultimately MIS is giving information to management. So management will come to know about a new system, a new activities, new things which is happening in market. So now there are some examples of utilization or utility of MIS from a different system perspective. So let's see first what is utility of MIS in financial department, in financial accountancy. Okay. So financial MIS provides financial information to all financial managers within an organization. Okay. Whatever information that is required for financial managers, they will get from MIS. So what kind of information they are required? We have seen financial management as a subject. We have seen there are different statements you require: cash flow, outflow, debtors receivable, creditors receivable. Okay. A different statement about what is availability of fund in banking, what is fund you have in a liquid state. Okay. So there are different things which you want to discuss or want to avail as information from MIS for taking decision regarding financial decisions. Okay, this is how it looks. It's a similar department, similar diagram which we have seen in initial stage. But here only thing is it is specific to financial MIS. Okay, it is not about MIS, but everything will be similar. Okay, rather than just a business transaction which we have received from customer and supplier, here you have some kind of internal data, external data, business transaction, how much money you paid to somebody, how much is the creditor, how much is the debtor's money. Okay, there are different data which you put into input. That is transaction processing system. Whatever transaction you have done with outside world or inside your organization, that will all you note into say journal. Okay, that is TPS. you record everything into a TPS, that is transaction processing system. Okay, so that everyday activity will go into operational database. That is whatever operational activity you have done in that particular period. So that will store into operational database. Or you can understand operational database in terms of journal. Okay, we are where we have entered all entries, all experience. Okay, then that data will go into ledger, database of valid transaction for each TPS. So whatever valid you have, that error you have minus, okay, input, whatever input you have this summarized into a smaller part, and you have set whatever TPS was there into a database of valid transaction for each TPS. Okay. From that database or from that ledger, things will go into ultimately financial. Okay, and this is ultimate source where you store your all data related with financial department. Okay. Again, in MIS, you have another source from external data from internal data. You record into financial department, financial application database. So whatever data you record that is there, either you require for decision support system or you require for expert system, financial manager. So those who are going to take a decision, okay, to support that decision, you require some information. So that information you will get from financial application database or management who has to take ultimate some data related to complete organization. That will also be available here in this database. That is expert system. Okay. So what kind of data you can get from financial MIS? Financial statements, uses and management of funds, how you are using funds, how you are utilizing funds, from where you are availing funds, what is the cost of capital, how much interest you are paying on that capital, what are the options available with you, which option you have chosen, why you have chosen, and what is your past experience with that particular option. Financial statistics for control. Okay, so wherever you have planned, whether you are moving as per a plan or not, that also you can understand from financial statistics for control. So for control in the sense something which is going against your plan or it's not moving in a direction where you have planned. So obviously what you have to apply certain controlling techniques. So here financial statistics for control will help you to find where you are moving as per a plan and where you are not moving as per the plan. So where you are moving as per the plan, obviously you appreciate system, you continue the method. But wherever you are not moving as per the requirement or as per the planning, obviously what you will apply some control techniques to bring back things on a normal scale. So this is the utility of MIS. This is how you go for MIS, or you use MIS for solving a problem related with financial decisions. Okay, or this is how finance manager use different data to reach out to some kind of conclusion. Okay, inputs to financial information system, strategic plan or corporate policies. So obviously, what kind of input you gave into financial system for strategic planning? That initially you had sub planning or corporate policy with this objective. You have entered into this business. So okay, so ultimately, first thing which you include is the vision, objective of your organization. Okay, TPS is a regular activity like you have taken order from somewhere or you have give order to something or you have paid something, you have received something, inventory is there, order is there. So whatever activity you may mention into a journal or the first hand activity, that all comes under transaction processing system. Okay, input as well as output, external sources like sources of external as well as external sources. External sources like sources of fund from where you have received the sources, or internally how you manage the fund. Okay, maybe you have diverted from one department to other department, or maybe you have borrowed a fund from outsource, okay, banking or money lender or friends, or you have launched your IPO shares. So these all comes under TPS, that transaction processing system. Annual reports and financial statements of computers and general users. Apart from your own information, that is TPS, apart from including your vision into your MIS, you also have reports, financial statements, or knowledge about a competitor, what they are doing. Okay, so based on what they are doing, what kind of funds you have, what is your vision, what is your mission, you ultimately get a concrete decided that I want to expand my industry into some new region. Okay, so what you require ability of fund, you require a competitor level there. What is your objective? Whether you want to enter into particular area, that particular area comes into your objective or not. Suppose you want to enter, you want to serve poor people, but the area which you are including is not having so many poor people, or maybe this area is particularly people who belongs to rich category. So what you will do, maybe you will not go to that area. Okay. So based on certain inputs, you will ultimately you know, uh, decides whether to go for a particular activity or not, whether your financial backup will support this activity or not. Financial MIS subsystem out. See, we have discussed every subsystem is about. There is a centralized system and subsystem is about each department. Okay, so similarly, financial MIS also has some kind of subsystem. Ultimately, information goes into MIS, and from that MIS it goes to individual departments. Okay, from that individual department database, they create their own subsystem. Okay, financial MIS subsystems and outputs. So let's see what is financial MIS. Okay, and that's a subsystem we have discussed. Output we already know. So let's see some of the terms of financial subsystems which is available into finance. Profit and loss cost system. Obviously, profit and loss and cost system will be interested only by financial accounting or accounting managers. So here what we are doing, or you are trying to apply your subsystem MIS to understand what is your profit, what is your loss, how much cost you have incurred on something, or whatever statements or whatever things we have discussed into financial subsystems or accounting management. You can go for all the statements from this MIS subsystem. Okay, auditing, like if you have done auditing, so what kind of results were there, whichever product which were there in auditing, what kind of results you have received from auditing, how you have done auditing, what methods you have used for auditing. So every information you want to get from this subsystem. Okay, decision support system, what decision support system you are using in finance, what kind of priorities you are deciding for a financial management. Okay, users and management of funds, how you are using funds which you have received from management. What are your sources of funding? What is your investment source? Okay, whatever surplus funds you have, where you are investing. So these are some of the things. These are some of the statements, or these are some of the outputs which you get from financial subsystem. Okay, what is financial position now? Okay, where government is where organizations are in surplus fund or it is shortage of fund. So whatever is your fund level, you come to know from system. Whatever is your financial position, you will come to know. You will come to know from this MIS subsystem. Similarly, we'll see one more example. Rather than discussing manufacturing process, let's discuss marketing MIS. Okay. Something similar, but again, just to give you some more clarity over MIS. MIS supports manager activities in product development, distribution, pricing decisions, and promotional effectiveness. Okay. So, say suppose you want to promote a particular product. Again, take suppose Horlicks. So there are two ways of promoting a particular product. Either you have to increase the width of distribution or depth of distribution. Okay. I hope you are writing some running notes. So width of distribution and depth of distribution. So when you talk about width of distribution, what you are targeting to reach maximum outlets. Okay. So you are trying to reach maximum outlets, that is width of distribution. Okay. Initially you are serving to 4 outlets, now you are going to 5 outlets, 6 outlets, 7 outlets. So irrespective of whatever number of product you are selling to that outlet, maybe you are selling one product to each outlet, but you are having availability in each outlet. Okay, this is width of distribution. When you go for depth of distribution, you are trying. I'm selling, okay, rather than just going for width of distribution, or rather than covering more number of outlets, maybe I'm covering less number of outlets. But what I'm trying to put, like I was selling 2 products to that particular outlet. Now I'm selling 3 products or 4 products to that outlet. So I'm increasing my depth. Okay, I'm getting maximum revenue from one outlet. Okay, similarly, I have focused on some outlet and I'm trying to go for giving maximum product to that outlet. So this is my depth of distribution. Breadth of distribution, this is increasing number of outlets. depth of distribution is giving more focus or giving more products to that particular outlet. So simultaneously using these two techniques will lead to promotion of the product. Okay. One thing, you have to increase your depth of distribution. Second thing, you have to increase your width of distribution. Okay. So this is how you ultimately generate more business. Okay. Rather than just going for a market and coming from market will not generate a revenue, but you have to go with the proper planning. And from where you get a planning? From MIS. Okay, marketing team goes to MIS. They will see, okay, we are available in 1,000 outlets and our sale is suppose 1 crore. So if we enter into 115 outlets, how much will be our sale? So how much expenditure we have to incur to ensure that our ability will be to more 500 outlets? Maybe you have to increase the manpower, you have to increase the visibility, maybe you have to increase something else. So based on different data which we have, this particular data, which are the potential outlets. Suppose you see that Bonvita is already available in 1,800 outlets, whereas Horlicks is available only in 1,000 outlets. Obviously, you will target to Bonvita. You will see which are the outlets where Bonvita is present. Because if Bonvita is present, obviously Horlicks should also be present because they are competitive. Mother is coming to buy some energy drink for their children. Obviously, they should have an option between Bonvita and Horlicks. If our Horlicks is not present in that outlet, then obviously it will say, Madam, only Bonvita is available. And 90% of the customers will take what is available there. They will not search for other, or maybe they will go to one other outlet. But if you are available only in 50% outlet compared to your competitor, that means you have lost the battle then and there. Okay. So how can you take a decision about a distribution based on MIS? How many outlets Bonvita is present? How many outlets Horlicks is present? Which are the outlets where we are not present? Or what is the number of quantity we are selling to each outlet? Okay. So if selling to each outlet is less, then obviously we have to go for depth of distribution. If you are not available in most of the outlets, then we have to go for depth of distribution. If you are not if you are not good at both of them, then you have to simultaneously go to both the outlets. If you are good at both the outlets, then you have to emerge at a market leader so that Bonvita and Heinz complaint will follow you. Okay, Horlicks is available in 2,500 outlets, whereas Bonvita is available only in 1,800 outlets. So obviously you will target other companies to reach to that level. So this data you will get from MIS. Okay, every day it was advisable even our company used to advise us. Every day you should spend some time on SAP, okay, or MIS, so that you will understand your market well. You will understand who are the retailers who are buying, who are the retailers who earlier used to buy but they are not buying now, or who are the outlets or which are the outlets which are recently added, okay, or which are the outlets you can promote a new product. So there were a different data, or there are different customized data which you can then generate from MIS. Okay, so in marketing departments, everything will be similar. The only thing is what kind of reports you generate from MIS. Sales by customer. Okay, you will come to know each customer how much they are buying. Okay, what products are they buying, on what frequency they are buying, once in a month, twice in a month, every week. Okay, so you will understand what is the frequency of visit is required. If they are buying twice in a week, so that means you are required to visit that particular market twice in a week. Sales by salesperson, how much sales we are generating by salesperson, how many of them are directly calling to a distributor and giving the order. Okay, so that particular gap will show you that salesperson is not visiting every outlet, or they are not visiting frequently, which is required by a particular market. So this will also come to the compromise. Sales by product, by product, how much sales you have done. That is also important to understand the contribution of particular product into total sales. Pricing report, what is your pricing, what is competitors pricing, okay, how much pricing you are giving, like what kind of discounts you are giving, schemes you are using to promote your product. So ultimately you will understand how much how much I have spent to promote this particular product, what was my last profit. So this is also will come to the pricing method. Total service calls, how many call you have done and how many calls you have serviced. Okay, a productive call, that is different. How many calls you have visited, that is service call, that is different. You went to outlet, you asked for order, but maybe outlet has given order or not, that is different thing. But productive outlets are how many outlets you have visited and how many outlets have bought from. That shows your communication skills or sales. Okay, the more the productive outlet, more will be the efficient. Less the productive outlet, less will be the. efficiency. Customer satisfaction. Obviously, you will also understand what is the customer satisfaction. Like, are they repeatedly buying from you? What kind of orders they are giving? How they are giving? Okay, what kind of schemes you are providing? What kind of feedback you have received from particular customer? This will also includes into a marketing advance. Okay, this is all about introduction part of MIS. Some of the terms which we have seen about MIS, diagrams or process we have seen, functions, advantages of MIS we have seen. In next lecture